All right, before you go to slice your candy bar, get it ready for printing, I figured I'd make a quick video just kind of talking about the basics of how a 3D printer works. I've put into this application that I'll talk about in the next video, Cura, a puzzle cube piece. So this should look familiar from a project you did in IED. I want you to think about 3D printing like stacking two-dimensional layers one on top of the other. So the 3D printer is going to heat up a thermoplastic that turns into a liquid when it's heated, and it's going to create each layer out of that plastic, which will then harden and cool to form your three-dimensional print. So this application slices your file. So we'll hit the slice button here. And what this does is it creates those two-dimensional slices that will form this shape. Let's look at what that actually looks like. Here's the final shape, all right? And over here on the right-hand side, you can see it's made up of 191 layers. Each layer is 0.2 millimeters thick. If I make this shape in higher quality, what's that saying? Yeah, discard changes. And reslice it. Now I've got 318 layers, but it's going to take much longer to print. So let me go back to standard quality here and slice it up. Okay, 191 layers. If I drag this timeline down, you can essentially see the print happening. So let's look at layer number one. Layer number one is going to draw this little skirt around it to show me where my print's going to sit. And if we watch what this layer looks like, here's my extruder nozzle. This is what the printer will actually do. And if I skip forward, and it'll just fill in a full layer on the bottom here. Now if I go to layer two, it's going to do basically the same thing. It's going to do another outline and then fill it in again. Okay, let's look at layer three. Outline. Okay. Outline. Yep, same thing. Okay, how about layer four? Layer four looks the same. Eventually, though, let's look at like layer seven. This is starting to show what's called the infill pattern. So these prints are not going to be solid plastic. That would be very wasteful. So if we look at what the average interior layer looks like, it does this sort of crisscrossing grid, which will give the piece strength without filling it all with the PLA plastic, because that would just be wasteful. You don't need to fill it all, and you'll save a lot of time using this infill pattern. You can see how much quicker that layer is too, right? I can change my infill density. So if I put my infill density to like 40 and resliced, look how much denser that layer is now, right? So it's going to take longer per layer, and there's just going to be a lot more plastic within the piece. I could go all the way up to 100. Oops, not 199, 100%, not 1,000 either. And you can see my print time is going to go way up. Now it's almost 7 hours, and every single layer is full of plastic. Again, not necessary. You don't want to go too low. Like if we did 5% infill, honestly, it might be okay for a piece that's this basic, but it would be full of like, this is just air inside there. So, you know, it could be kind of weak if it ever gets twisted. It could break. So I wouldn't go below 10%. Unless absolutely necessary, but we'll do 15%. So that's how printing works. And then let's see, slice that up. If we move forward, the piece will get built up. Eventually, we'll have to do a top layer on that part, right? Around layer 90, 91, we start to put kind of the roof on this lower part, and we fill that in completely so it's smooth. We don't want that infill showing. And then we just build up this tall part over here. These layers take a lot less time. And we go, and we put a roof on the top. And that's how printing works. So you can watch the next video now to learn how you can get your piece, your candy bar, into the Cura application and slice it up.